Hi and welcome. This video has been very highly demanded, at least for a small channel like mine. So usually every 2 weeks or so I'll get a message from someone on Instagram that has found me from this YouTube channel. But 2 days ago I had 7 messages in one day, all from people asking the exact same question: how do I get clients as a social media manager? Now there are quite a few different ways, but I'm going to be talking about my favourite ones and kind of in order of my favourite ones. I'm going to start by talking about Facebook groups. Now this is 100% the most successful way for me personally. I have found most of my clients through Facebook groups. This doesn't necessarily mean jumping onto these groups and saying give me a job, I'm looking for work, that kind of thing. There's a little bit more to it than that. So we're going to start by covering the kind of groups that I'm on about, and I'll leave my favourite ones linked in the description below as well. So you want to be in a range of groups that are catered just for social media managers or just for entrepreneurs and business people. So you want to have a good majority, it's kind of a 50-50, so 50% of that kind, and then 50% of people who could make up your audience, so your ideal clients. So for me personally, I'm in a lot of Instagram, boss babe kind of groups, which does combine anyway the businessy people and the kind of influencer people. And I'm also in a few UK small business groups as well, just to keep an eye out for anything going on in there, but you want to just join as many as you can. To be honest, Facebook for me now isn't really a social media platform for leisure or whatever. It's all business. Whenever I scroll down my feed, it's just all groups and group posts, but that's kind of a sacrifice I suppose you've got to be prepared to make. Now once you've joined these groups, you don't want to start straight away by creating a post saying I'm a social media manager, hire me, because no one knows who you are. So you've got to begin by engaging with the posts that are already there. So if people say I need help with this or I need help with that, help them. Put yourself out there and make yourself visible to all of these people, because eventually people will start recognising you and recognising your hard work. And I know it's a bit of a pain, I know you probably want to just jump straight in there, but this is important to start with. Now another good thing about this is if someone says, oh I really need help with this, you can say, oh I actually did a video on this, or I actually have a blog post on this, and link it in a way where you're not promoting yourself, you're just saying I can help you with this, here is the way I'm going to help you with this. And that then draws people to your website or your wherever it is without you directly promoting it. And I've had quite a bit of success from that. I've had quite a few messages from just doing little things like that. Because sometimes people ask me, oh how do you do this or how do you do that, and if I've got a 10-minute video on it, it's easier to send that across for both of us than it is for me to start typing everything out. So it's not promoting just to try and gain attention, it's actually trying to provide value to someone, and that's really important. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story about a Facebook group scenario situation that saved me completely. So it was New Year's Day. I woke up and all my biggest clients had decided that they didn't need to work with me anymore. Now this wasn't my fault, it wasn't within my control. The reasons were to do with us being, there was a new lockdown announcement, we're going to put back in lockdown, which meant they had free time to work on the things themselves, and then also money, because everyone's just been struggling, and I work with people from all over the world and people just didn't have the funds to pay anymore, which is completely fine. But I woke up and they'd all done it at a very special time where they didn't have to pay me again, so I had nothing. I was like, I'm not going to be able to make rent or anything. I was panicking quite a bit. So then I just reached out in one of these groups. I said, listen, this has happened, I'm not going to be able to make my rent, is anyone looking for some help or a virtual assistant? And I had so many wonderful responses, and 2 months on I'm still working with those people now, and I had 3 people to work with by the end of the day, literally by the end of the day, within hours. So if that doesn't show you how powerful Facebook groups are, then I don't know what would. If you are genuinely struggling to find work, just jump in and say, once you've established that relationship with everyone there, I'm really struggling at the moment, I can't find any jobs, does anyone need any help? And the easiest way often to market yourself as a social media manager is to say, does anyone need help with a virtual assistant? Because the jobs do kind of cross in some ways, but I found out that saying virtual assistant is a bit easier, because social media manager, despite that being your title, it's kind of feels maybe to them like you coming in and taking control. So if you are really struggling and you're desperate for anything, rather than specifically social media management, just say my services are here if you'd like them. You are also welcome to obviously say I'm a social media manager, does anyone need anything? But in my experience I have found that virtual assistant does better. Another good thing about these groups is you can use it as an opportunity to get testimonials for small tasks. So I've done this quite a few times, so I'll do I'll do a post saying, is anyone looking for like a mini audit, or is anyone looking for, you know, just something like that, and I'll do it for them in exchange for a testimonial. Now, I have done this before on Instagram, and I did all these different audits for people, and only 2 out of the 7 actually gave me a testimonial, so you got to be careful and got to chase people up, so be very wary of that. But ultimately, yes, I think Facebook groups are by far my favourite way, and have been very successful. It's probably like 60-40 with the next point that I'm going to make. So your social presence is huge. It's such a big factor. I'm just going to give you a few pointers and things that you can do to optimize this in a way that people will start to come to you. It does take some time, it's not going to happen straight away, but there's a few little things you can do. So for example, if you go to my Instagram, my name is Beth, social media manager. So if someone searches social media manager on Instagram, I'm going to come up somewhere. And it just puts it out there, it establishes who I am without them having to scroll through all my content and try and work out what it is that I do and how I can help them. But that extra content that I do have is kind of proof of my services and who I am. And that does end up leading to people messaging me saying, I've seen your profile, I love this, love that, I'm really interested in hearing more, I'm really interested in working with you. You want to be as present on as many different social media platforms as possible. So here on YouTube, at the time of recording this, I have just less than 300 subscribers, which isn't a massive amount to a lot of people, but to me it means quite a lot. And the amazing thing about that is I have had so many people messaging me recently. Like I said as well at the start, I have actually been able to find clients through YouTube despite only having this smaller audience. Some of my biggest paying clients have come from YouTube. And I think the good thing about this is, you know, you can put a post, there is a picture of you and you saying whatever, but it's not the same as having this video kind of like contact, I suppose, like, because I am talking to you at this point through the camera. Obviously I'm looking at a camera right now, but at this moment I'm just thinking about you watching this, which might sound really weird, but we're already like establishing this relationship before even having met. And I think that isn't something you can really do through an Instagram post as well. So yeah, make sure you're on every platform possible, definitely Instagram, definitely Facebook, and use your Instagram stories to be talking to people throughout the day, tell them what you're doing, make it really personal rather than just like text on a page, because I know it can be really embarrassing at the start and it makes you really nervous, but eventually you will get more comfortable with it. And like, I feel fine doing this now, where I think at the beginning, especially if you go back to some older videos, I definitely come across as a little bit more reserved. But it is really about putting yourself out there, because the more people see you, the more people get to know you, the more they'll want to work with you. Another platform that you want to be on is LinkedIn. Now, I've only really gotten into this very recently because I didn't really understand what it was, if I'm being honest, but it is kind of like Facebook, but just for business. So you can put yourself on there, you can have like your CV on there. They've got like a CV builder for you if you don't want to just like upload a PDF or anything. And you can put all your past history, you make connections with people, and people message you saying, I have these opportunities for you, you can see jobs on there. It is really good, and I regret only joining it now. I've talked to some wonderful people on there, and it's brilliant because this industry can be very lonely. Like, you can have things happening with clients that you can't go in like, oh, you won't believe what happened today to your friend, because they won't care or understand. Having this LinkedIn community is really great because, you know, there's so many similar people to you out there, and you can all laugh at stuff, and people share funny things that other people in your life might not understand, so I would recommend getting on there. I'll leave my LinkedIn below and we can connect if you'd like. Now, these next few options I've personally never really had much success with, but I know a lot of people have. So these are things like going on Upwork or Fiverr or Freelancer, and these are the kind of platforms where you can advertise yourself as a social media manager, advertise your services, and people will then contact you and say, oh yeah, we want to work with you, that kind of thing. Or you can also apply to some jobs on some of them as well. Now, I've never had any real success with these, but I have had people contact me, but it's just not been the kind of thing I've wanted to do. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I had someone once message me, they'd done like this lingerie shoot and wanted to pay me to choose which pictures of theirs I liked the most for them to then post, which is just a very odd job, so I didn't take that one. And that does bring me on to a good point. So in the beginning, you'll want to grab every opportunity that you can get, but you will get to a point eventually where you can start saying no to things. There'll be certain jobs that you're not interested. I've done everything. I've done so many different things, from posts about roofs and roofing tips to stuff that I actually have more of a passion in. Like, I like doing things for business people. I like taking care of that because it's obviously something I resonate with. But the point is, take all the opportunities you can get now if you're in the beginning stages, but know that eventually it'll get to a point where you can be more selective and you can say, this isn't really for me. At the same time though, if you are working with a client and it's just not good, the relationship isn't good, you're just not getting on, try and see what's more important to you at that point in time. Sometimes it might be the money, sometimes you might need it, because we've all got bills to pay and stuff. So just try and weigh up the situation and see if it's actually worth having that stress in your life just for the money, because there'll always be other jobs out there. So many people out there in the business, so many people, and there are more than enough jobs for people. So like the story I gave you earlier, you might wake up one day and things might feel like a disaster, but sometimes by the end of the day you can be in a better position than you were the day before, if that makes sense. So yeah, they are my top ways for finding clients as a social media manager and virtual assistant, I suppose. So if you have any more questions, please do just message me, leave it in the comments, and I'd be really happy to help, because I said this I think in another video, but I love this job and I am so passionate about it, and I really do hope that resonates through these videos. And if you are thinking, I'm not sure if this is the industry for me, I hope you are inspired to maybe even take a chance, because I do love this and I love my life in this job, and I hope you can be feeling the same about yours. So yes, thank you so much. Please subscribe if you'd like to, it'd mean the world to me, and have a lovely day.